All right, what's going on, guys? So we're back to it. It's a Saturday night, and my knees are shot. Well, not that bad. They're just sore. It's tiring. Walking, going downstairs, it's like a little painful on the knees right now just because we ran 9 miles today. So to be a little expected. So a lot of our veggies, a lot of our meat's already defrosting. 2, 3, 4. So, and we're gonna use some garlic too for one of the meals. I think it's the turkey bowls and stuff like that, but we'll worry about that later. It's not gonna be too big of an important thing right now. Thought that was like, ooh, so you don't see it, but I have an air fryer container in here because I was cooking with it earlier today, and it's soaking. Normally when I'm done with it, right, there's a lot of oil and grease or whatever is in there type thing, and I almost dropped a potato in there, and that, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal, but that's not ideal, right? And then now we chop. Let's see, large dice, so cut straight down the middle. You could peel the potatoes. I just don't have the time and energy for it, and having the skin on really does not bother me, so it's just like whatever. And I think it's with potatoes, or maybe it's sweet potatoes. There's some nutrients you can get from that too. I don't know. I think it's sweet potatoes. I don't know if regular potatoes have that either. But anyway, as you're probably guessing, this is part of how I'm going to be with my bulk, right? So I always try to calculate it out ahead of time. And from what my app was saying, and I use Macro Factor if you're wondering, which I think is a great weight loss app or weight tracking app. I should be having around 2,600 calories more or less, give or take, right? So I'll fill the rest in with whatever, but I have like protein shakes or ice cream or whatever little snacks I can type thing. So not a bad deal. And hey, look at that. That's how you chop into a large dice. Easy peasy. So, and because I'm using my phone, I'll be just coming up to the camera and shutting it down that way. So I'll cut back to when I'm done cutting the potatoes. Okay, we're back. It was a couple minutes. So I think I have, what does I need? 1,400? Oh no, this is not, there's no way this is 1,400 grams, is it? So we're definitely not going to use all of this because we're at 1,200 grams already. Yeah, I'll just cut this, see if this is enough. Ooh, almost. We're like 40 grams off. Slice another little piece here. When I'm on a cut, it's cool to go under. When I'm on a bulk, I like to go a little over, if I have to. So, no big deal there. And there goes that. I'll land it on my gym bag, which is probably even dirtier than the floor. Yeah, probably not. We'll see. Oh, did I get this right on 1,400? Oh, 1,402. Almost. Almost. Cool. So put that to the side. We're obviously not going to be closing this anytime soon, but that's okay. Not a big deal. I've left the vegetables with open containers in the fridge overnight. Whatever. So. Does this button do anything besides... Oh, so I just learned this button starts and stops the video. It's more than just connecting to Bluetooth. Oh, more you know. Okay, where was I? So it says to get 120 grams of lemon juice. Not a good time. This can go in there. Potatoes. And then now we just need to get some lemon juice, pretty much. So I used to squeeze it by hand because I didn't have a squeezer, but when I got a squeezer, so much easier. Life was so much easier. It's limes. Let's do it with this. So we need 120 grams. Let's see if we have enough. Oh gosh, why is that thing slipping out? $25. We may not have 120 grams unless we can really squeeze these lemons. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, you know what? I should probably record me doing this, huh? For my little video. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I love limes and lemons. Mmm. So freaking good, man. Mmm. Mmm. Love it. Freaking love it. Where's my phone at? We'll do it like this. Do a slow-mo video of it. And you know what? We may absolutely get enough now that I'm saying that. And I'm pretty sure you don't need to see me squeezing like 2 more lemons. We'll cut when we're done. Sorry, I was just reading something. So it was saying to have shredded carrots. I was thinking of, I mean, is that what he did with this recipe, right? And if you're wondering how I'm cutting it, right? I'm cutting it, I cut it in half, cut the end parts, not the root. Cut down the center here. It's gonna be a little awkward from this angle, but do a few cuts. It's the last thing I wanted to fall. So, you know what? Why am I making this harder? Let me just move the camera. Yeah, I don't know why I made that so much harder. And then you're gonna cut down like this. Once you cut down a few times up that way, cut here, boom, boom. It's not gonna be perfect. You don't need to be a professional chef. You're not cooking for, I mean, you can be cooking for other people like I am, right? But even then, it doesn't have to be professional. Just be clean. Just be clean. And once you cut down all the sides that way, and just cut down the side, look at that. Diced onions, nice and easy. Nice and easy. So, no need to make it any more harder than it needs to be. So I rinsed my carrots, washed them, blah, blah, blah. So this is how I essentially do. I dice my carrots, get the edges off if I need to, cut it in half. Boom. Just be very careful. Like this is when I feel like I'm very prone to cutting myself on. So I take it slow. Just like that. Cut these down. Line them up. I wonder if this, I hope this is not blocking it. If it is, I apologize. Just, ooh. Probably better to hold it that way so your fingers aren't sticking out. When I say that way, I mean like this versus like this. So this, obviously your fingers are at risk of sticking out. It's just probably a little more comfortable. This means you could like brush up against your knuckle without slicing your hand type thing. So probably it's the safer way. And there you go. Look at that, diced carrots, easy peasy. Done with that. So again, save the carrots for next week. No big deal. I have some cucumbers in there. Oh, that's what we need to cut is garlic. But I like to cut that last. Garlic gets sticky, and I don't like being sticky. So, but yeah. Anyway, I have the carrots and onions in here. So 200 grams of onions, 200 grams of carrots. And this is my little trick, right? If you're prepping the night before all your vegetables, don't rip the bag open. Like, don't tear the bag apart. Just slowly open up the top so you can dump the spinach out. And when you're done roughly chopping it, put it back. The rice is done. The lemon garlic turkey bowls calls for like day-old rice. doesn't have to necessarily be day old per se. As long as just the rice is able to dry out is really the main thing. So I made it now. I like to make it earlier. I just forgot to do it. So I made it now, unplugged it. It's gonna cool off by tomorrow. Should be ready to go. So you want it to be dried out, because if it's still with a lot of moisture, it's all mushy. It doesn't mix as well. When it dries out, it's just a better way to mix with everything. So, and you know, one thing I did in the past is I didn't chop it. I just threw the spinach in like that. Still wilted just as fine. So if you don't have time or you don't want to spend time roughly chopping it, then don't even worry about it. I just like doing it this way. So, and mind you, you're not dicing it. You're not like getting these fine cuts. You're literally just roughly chopping this thing. Just, you could go over it once like this, and then once over like that. And that's it. To be real with you, I have no clue how to actually open this stuff up correctly. I just take the top off because it makes it, in my opinion, easier. At least I have a place to grab from. So the way you're going to want to open these, use the long part of your knife, put it on its side or in a way that's easier for you to hit. Boom. Smash it. It's going to be minced up anyway. So just boop, 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 boop. You see it's going to build up on the side, bring it down, scoop it together. That, like that. Just keep going until you can get it to a nice fine mince. So I'm not going to show you this entire process because that's unnecessarily long. Cool. Righty tighty. All right, guys. So that's it on this end. I'm just going to clean up the rest of my stuff here. And yeah, I will see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. All right, guys. See you then. Good morning. We are back to it. So I was just getting some stuff ready. I need to turn on the oven right now. Should be fine. Nice. Oh. Aha. There you go. So spread everything out, break it up, whatever you gotta do. Excellent. It's frozen, so it's fine though. So I used a little spray oil on the pan just to make sure nothing sticks to it and, you know, burns away. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started with everything now. Oh, okay, put this to the side. I already got in the way. There we go. Let's see. So we'll see how much of this one that we show that we're really doing. Maybe I'll bring the camera closer. Hold on. All right. So yeah, we'll just put it right there for now. Got started with this. Like I said, you could use just regular oil. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I just like using spray oil. It's how I started cooking. So move that over to the side slightly. And, you know, to each their own on what they want to do. You can get some good flavor with using oil, regular olive oil. I guess you use extra virgin olive oil, but that flavor content might be a bit different. But nonetheless, that's how I'm doing it, with just spray oil. So we'll go ahead and cut to the beef, dump it in there. The recipe for this many servings calls for 3 pounds of beef. I'm just going to use 4 because to have that extra pound seems a little pointless. So we'll just have 4 in here. It's going to be a pretty big prep, so I guess it'll be a good example on what to do when you have such a large prep or something like that. And again, this is kind of what I figured out along the way. No one really taught me how to prep like big portions of food like this, so I may be doing some things wrong, but it comes out fine for the most part. So we'll see how things go. All right, so this little update, I forgot that I was supposed to put that in a bowl first, the broccoli, and put some olive oil in it and salt and pepper and toss it around. I did that off camera just because I just realized it. So this is still warming up because I turned it off, so I wouldn't like let the oil get too hot. But yeah, we'll go throw there the meat in like a maybe 30 seconds to a minute or so. All right. Okay, cool. And so we've begun. We are now cooking the beef. Truthfully, with this much beef, I find that's better just to start breaking it apart early. You know what I mean? You can, depending on how big the beef is or how much you're cooking, you can probably leave it on there for a bit to let it brown on one side and then flip it over, brown on the other. You know, it gives a lot of flavor to it, but with this much beef, that's not going to be a thing. It's going to be way too much for that. It's not going to cook all the way through, so your best bet is just to break it down right away. At least, again, this is just from my experience type deal. It's how I've always done it, so. And I use a massive stock, or pot, as you can see. I'm going to say stock pot, I don't know if that's right. But this is what I got. And my little thing is, right, if I have a lot of meat in there like I do now, and I need to cook it all the way, kind of just cover it with the lid, and it helps cook from the, you know, top part of the meat too. You know, you could flip it over a little bit too, but this kind of my little trick if I have to do other things as well. So we'll let that cook for a little bit, and then we'll come back, start putting in the veggies and everything else. So, oh, and that's not to say you shouldn't flip the meat inside there. You know, I'm sure you guys aren't dumb, right? Like you should do that too at some points, right? Like be sure to turn the meat around and flip it type thing, because it's still going to help it cook, you know. Just make sure you get all sides of everything cooked inside here type deal. So the broccoli, or the oven, is now warmed up, so we'll put the broccoli in there for about 10 minutes. I like to let it just kind of stay heated up a little bit, because when you open it, the heat gets lower, then it's going to rise back up, blah 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 blah. So it's been on 450 for about like 30 seconds or like 15 seconds. So we'll go ahead and put this in now. We'll put it on this side, on the bottom here. All right. What that sizzling is. 10 minutes. All right. See you guys in a minute. All right, we're back. So this is pretty much good. You're gonna see some redness in here, right? So it's not like 100% browned, but the reasoning for that, for continuing, is because you have so much that the recipe says it's gonna take 4 to 5 minutes to cook like the onions and carrots, right? But with the amount we have for it to fully cooked, it's gonna be a little bit more. So by the time we do finish cooking the onions and carrots, the rest of the beef should be browned. So we'll go ahead and add those in now. So, and future recipes kind of tell you to do it, like do this with some of their stuff, right? Make a little hole in the center and then add the vegetables inside there, type deal. And you could drain the fat and stuff like that, but I mean, that doesn't matter. So, and then add it into the middle there. Makes it nice and easy for it to cook. At least that's what I'm presuming why it's having us do that. And another way to help it cook fast too is to get a little bit of salt. Sprinkle it on there. Salt's going to help pull out the water and help it just cook a lot faster too. And you could season the beef as well right now. That's not necessary. It'll be getting a lot of different seasonings in a little bit. So at this point we'll leave the lid off. We'll let this stuff cook inside here for like, it says like 4 to 5 minutes. We'll check after 4 to 5 minutes, but it usually gives me about 5 to 6, I'd say. So we'll be back then. You know what I just realized too? The thing's still cooking. It's like about 3 minutes in. So I just remembered that when you're using beef, like 88-12 like I have, or 88 or 85-15, 80-20, yada yada yada, there's a lot of fat in there. So you don't necessarily need to use the spray oil, just FYI. Like if you just put the beef in there and let it cook, the fat's gonna come out, and that's gonna be a good way for the rest of the food to cook in that too. So you don't need to put oil. That was just a little bit extra because I wasn't thinking. I'm going to use the excuse that it's 5 a.m. even though it's kind of normal for me. So, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of let that know. Broccoli's going to be done in about 35 seconds. We just got to get in there, flip it around, put it back for like another 7 to 8 minutes. So, yeah. All right, we are now adding in the tomato paste. It says for 150 grams, this can is 170. I don't know what else I'm going to do with 30 grams of tomato paste, so I'm just going to dump it all inside here. So, and like I said, I'm recording on my phone, so you'll see me boop my snoop for a little bit here. There we go. Away. Ooh, almost threw that into my lunch bag. Put that in the sink for right now. So we're going to put tomato paste, then we're going to add vegetable broth. Vegetable broth, milk, oat flour, some other spices too. So let's go ahead and get that in there. Change this to slow-mo. It's not recording. You only need to like do little snippets of like a couple seconds or something like that. We're going to use the entire thing of vegetable broth. This is 907 grams of it, right? So we're going to pour this whole thing into here. It says 960, but again, I don't know where I'm going to get 60 grams of vegetable broth, and it's not a big deal if you don't get the whole thing. Like 907 versus 960 sounds like a lot, and depending on what it is, it can be a lot, but we're going to be having a lot of liquid in here anyway, so it'll be fine. It will be just fine. Then we're putting in milk. Cool. So I already measured out the milk, 730 grams, technically milliliters, but I just use it in grams, so not a big deal there. And I use almond milk, unsweetened almond milk. You can use regular milk. I think this one says you use 2% fat. If you want to cut back on calories, I used almond milk. Comes out just as fine. You know, no big deal. So then we're going to be adding some oat flour, about 30 grams. So if you know, I really enjoy Gorilla Mind pre-workout. So what I do is I save their scoops and I wash it out and I use that for the little scoop here. And it's a good measure of it. So I think one scoop is like 15 grams. So we have a little over 10 grams or whatever it is, us apparently, which is not a big deal. Okay, cool, 5 grams over. Don't sweat it too much. So oat flour, chili powder, and garlic powder. You can get chili. Oh, I forgot to record that. It's okay. Shoot, there's something in my eye. Ouch. Put this to normal video. There you go. A little bit of chili powder in there. About 4 grams. That looks like 4 grams. Thing about spices, they're like what? Like, depending on most of them, like, at most you're going to have like 5 calories. If 4 grams, it's barely anything. So if you're on a weight loss journey, I wouldn't sweat it too much, you know. And then what else are we putting in here? Garlic powder, right? I lost my spot. Yeah, garlic powder. 4 grams of garlic powder. So it's not a big deal, right? I used to be afraid of seasoning and carbohydrates when I first started, and then I felt like crap and my food was getting really boring and bland. So don't be afraid of seasoning, guys. Could only help you. Stir and bring it to a boil. Excellent. So the recipe calls for oat flour. I use all-purpose flour because if I have it, I'm going to use it. No real reason to go out and get a different type of flour unless there's a very specific reason for it, right? Is it like self-rising flour, or am I thinking of dough? I don't know. Just all-purpose flour is what I've always used for majority of my meals, so perfectly fine with keeping it that way. Anyway, this thing is saying to bring it to a boil, so we will come back when this thing is at a boil. Alright folks, we're back. So it's boiling. One thing I want to point out is you see this little orange part top up here? Feel free to skim along that to pick it up and take it out and just kind of dump it out, you know what I mean? You don't have to do that per se, right? It's not something you have to do, but it's not a bad thing to do. Some people say you just leave it in, some people say you should take it out. There's no right or wrong. I've always been taught to take it out, so I just prefer to do that. You know what I mean? So just gently move it over the top and then dump it into another bowl, or I don't know if you can dump it into the sink, honestly, but yeah, so we'll come back once I have everything else inside here too. So alright, so we put the pasta in there now. So with that in there, we are going to put the lid on, and then we're going to let it boil for about, I'd say 8 minutes. So give it about 8 minutes. So I'll see you then. Alright, so why is that so low now? Weird. Let's raise that up a little bit. Can I raise it up with the video on? Okay, well, we'll adjust it in a second. But the broccoli's done. So we're going to take that out right now. Ooh. Okay. Nice. Smells good. Excuse me. So we'll let that cool off. The thing about this dish is it doesn't go inside here, right? The lemon, my gosh, the lemon garlic turkey bowls will combine together. This just goes on the side. So you'll have the main cheeseburger mac, and then on the side of it, it's the broccoli. So anyway, we'll let that cool off. Let this keep cooking. We'll come back when we're a little more ready. All right, so it's been about 7 minutes? No, 8 minutes. So according to the package, the pasta takes about 8 minutes to like fully cook. And wow, this came out nicely. I like this. I like this. I like to have it a little al dente, as it says. So I cook it a little bit less, and then as I'm going on, it's going to be cooking some more. So it'll get to where it needs to be eventually. Now, what we're doing is adding the cheese. I use Lucerne fat-free mozzarella cheese. You should probably pick a different cheese, but I just like this because one, it's low calorie and it's high protein. So it's not often you get to find a lot of fat-free cheese. So something in there. Boop. Nice. Get that little bit out of there too, and then we're gonna dump the spinach in here as well. So. Yep. There you go. Now we can toss the bag and mix this up. Like if you feel there's too much liquid, you can boil out some more of the liquid. I'm perfectly okay with how much liquid's in there right now. I think that's a good amount. So let's go ahead and grab our salt and pepper. And remember, you're having a large meal here, so you know, be free with the salt. You're not. Trust me, you'll be fine if you put a lot of salt in there. No big deal. Obviously, don't drench it, but when you're having a large meal like this, like you're gonna want to have a lot of salt and pepper in there. Otherwise, it's not gonna give everything enough flavor. So, get in there and mix it up. And I don't think I said this yet, but this is the cheeseburger mac with broccoli. Once again, meal prep manual. I'm telling you right now, all of my recipes will be from there most of the time. Every now and then I'll find a recipe like somewhere else and I'll try that one out. Or maybe I'll see something on YouTube and want to try that one out. So, but for the most part, meal prep manual. Lots of good like high protein meals. A lot of good tasting meals. So it can make, if you're meal prepping, can make it less boring. So, all right. Let me get a little spoon. That's good. Cool. All right. So we're done with that one. We'll start prepping for the next meal, which is the lemon garlic turkey bowls. It is 6:14. Started that like at what, 5? I technically started like around 5:30, so 45 minutes. It's good prep. So let's go and get started on the next one. All right, hello beautiful people, we are back. So can you see it in the video? I don't think you can, but I prepped out the cheeseburger mac behind me. We're gonna be doing something different. So as you can see here, we have the potatoes getting ready to roast for this next meal. We are doing a conventional roast at 425. I think I should have done that with the previous broccoli. Still came out fine though, no big deal. Spread that out a little bit more, get it evenly across type thing. So good, man. Should wash my hands now. So what's gonna happen next is we're gonna put that along with the broccoli in here. Just rinse my hands out, excuse me. Okay. However, because I only have one sheet pan, we're gonna test this. I don't have a good feeling about this. I don't know if this is gonna cook very well. But we will see, right? That's the fun part about it, is seeing how well things will come out. So I have 2 of those little baking trays, but the problem is that I want to see how using one comes out, right? The way it's full right now, I want to see how that's going to cook. So it may come out nicely, it may come out fine, or it may be a disaster. We'll see. So regardless, we'll get there when we get there. For now, waiting for that to warm up, and we will go ahead and start with this. So I was gonna spray oil in there, but we have 8515 ground turkey, so there's gonna be a lot of fat in that. Don't need to spray it. We'll just go ahead and put that in there and stuff too. So we'll go ahead and start cutting to that stuff now. All right, folks. So we're in it to win it now. So. That little round meat looks so funny to me every time. But so we have the big round one is 3 pounds of 8515 lean ground turkey. The thing next to it, right here, this one, is 1 pound of 93.7 lean ground turkey. The recipe calls for 4 pounds, so this was only 3. I have another 3-pounder in the freezer, but I figured, you know what? There's a deal going on with the butterball chicken. Might as well do that. So here we are. So we're going to break that down. It's saying it's going to need some optimal browning. Fact of the matter is, as I said earlier, when it's this big of a meat, you're better off kind of just crushing it down first and then letting that top part cook out a little bit. So I'm not sure if there's ever a difference in like cooking when you're cooking with like 8515 and a leaner meat. In this case, 93.7. Like, I don't know if one cooks faster than the other, so you need to put one in later or something like that. I throw them in all at once, and I just hope for the best. So the only time I've ever seen that come out to be a problem was when I make my lazy lasagna, because it calls for turkey. Yeah, turkey, and then it calls for chicken. And I noticed that the chicken kind of comes out a little bit harder because it's been cooking for a little bit longer, so you know, there's probably some cooking differences there. I just don't really know. This is both turkey, so maybe there's not. If you know, feel free to let me know. I'm always open for tips and any help, really. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll let this get cooking. We'll come back to when it's a little more ready to go. Also, like, this is just a few seconds later. There is a lot of fat in this thing. Like, 8515, I know that's 15% fat, but like, even 8515 ground beef doesn't have this much fat, I feel like. I don't know, I just wanted to share that. That was a very interesting thing I noticed. Anyway, back to it. Alright, what's going on, guys? So I didn't show this part, but I dumped out a little bit of the fat. So I saw that there was a lot of it accumulating, and there's still a lot accumulating now, but I think it'll be okay. I dumped out a little bit of it because you run the risk of like boiling your meat rather than browning it. So in order to avoid that, I removed a good chunk of the fat from here, and now I'm just letting it cook, things of that. Just wanted to give that little update. So in case you're using 8515 and you see there's a lot of liquid, feel free to dump some of that out because you want to brown the turkey as best as you can. I guess it gives good flavoring according to the recipe. So being able to do that's important. So if there's too much liquid, you run the risk of boiling. Take it out, put it back, or put it back on the stove, keep cooking. So we'll let that go for a little bit longer. We'll cut back to it. Alright, so I dumped out a little more fat. It's about 90% of the way cooked, so now we're going to add in the garlic. So it says to get grated garlic. I prefer just, minced. It's fine because I don't have a grater. So 90% of the way cook, add garlic, and cook until it becomes fragrant. So it doesn't say to make it placed in the center, so we'll just... Oh wait, where's I don't remember, I'm still recording for my little thing too. There's like 10 different things going on sometimes. Well, actually not really, not that much, but I'm not the best multitasker in the world. Shut up, Siri. We're not listening in to the government again. Ooh. There you go. And then just scoop out the rest. There you go. And did it say to stir it in or just let it cook up there for a minute? So, and make sure to keep it moving because it's prone to burning, which is very true. Garlic can burn quite easily. So, oh, I also broke up the meat, by the way. I don't know if that was very obvious or how well you can see from this angle, right? But I did break up the meat. That way it's just ready to go. So, stir in there. It can take like maybe 30-60 seconds for the garlic to start coming fragrant, and there it is. Ooh, love that. Love that smell, man. Alright, let's go ahead and get everything else going. So the potatoes and broccoli are still going to be cooking, which is fine. We'll just add that at the very end. So it becomes fragrant. Now we're going to add in rice. This recipe calls for 600 grams. I'm doing a little bit more than that just because I need to get in a little more extra calories. So we're adding about 750 grams of rice. Boop. Bam. You can probably add more, but when you add a lot of rice, you need to have a lot more like items to it or whatever it is. So to avoid having like a bland rice flavor, we'll just keep it a little bit like that. So now rice, coriander, oregano. Yep, there you go. I'm using a lot more oregano recently, and I'm liking that. I like the taste and smell of oregano. I think it's going to say coriander next, right? Yep, where's my scissors? Excellent, excellent. It's my first time using coriander, so I'm curious about this, how this is going to come out. Okay, and then, geez, I keep losing it. Onion powder, lemon juice, and zest. Okay. Six grams of that, that's quite a bit. Like 6 grams is a lot more than what people think when it comes to spices. So, lemon juice and zest. Okay. So I'll go ahead and put lemon juice. I like to pour that on the rice so it absorbs the flavor a lot more. And then the zest. There you go. Cool. Excellent. So, lemon juice zest, and then we stir it up. And don't be afraid to take your time, right? Like, I know there's always that risk, like, oh, I don't want to burn the meat, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, blah, 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 you know. When you're cooking with this much meat, I've learned that it does take a little bit of a while longer for things to burn. So you do have a little bit of a leeway. And it's okay if you cook things for like a minute or two longer in most cases. So, excellent. It's coming out nice. I definitely could have used more rice in this case, which is whatever, no big deal. No big deal at all. And that's the fun part, right? So next time I do this, because I'm sure I'll do this, it's smelling really nice. I will use a little more rice. I'll probably use 1,000 grams of rice, truthfully, for the whole recipe. So that way we can really get a lot in there, type deal. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, so we're gonna hold off on the salt and pepper for right now. We're going to let the potatoes and broccoli come in first. Let's see, should be evenly. Yep. And we'll let the potatoes and broccoli come in first. Reason being is because I kind of drenched those in salt and pepper. So we'll see. Those might give it enough flavor. They might not. There's only one way to find out. So, and for right now, this is... Did I record myself stirring? I think I did. But if not, whatever. Not a big deal. So, and for right now, this is cooked. So we'll go ahead and take this out. Move this to the side. Just kind of take it off its normal heat source. Have it over there. There we go. So we're going to wait till the potatoes and broccoli are done. Essentially what we're going to need to do with that is once this is 3 minutes, so we're going to flip the potatoes, see how the broccoli is doing, and then I believe we're just going to put the potatoes back in for like another, what, 10 minutes? So where are we at? So somewhere around that. Anyway, I'll just look into it here. So roast for about 20 minutes. Oh, no, I guess I don't. Things should be good from there. So we'll see how things come out. Anyway, we'll see how things come out. I don't really like roasting potatoes in the oven. I like using an air fryer, but there was a lot of them, so it was easier in the oven. Wouldn't overcrowd the air fryer. But anyway, we'll get back to that when we're there. So see you in a minute. So folks, so we got a good look at the potatoes. They need a little bit more browning, so they're going to be staying in there. The broccoli, though, okay. At least the top part came out nicely, nice and toasted and stuff like that. So, smells really good too. I think honestly that wasn't a bad move. Wasn't a bad move. I like that. I like that. I think that gives me a little more options now if I want to do like multiple like recipes where you roast the vegetables and stuff like that. So I'm happy with that. Seems for the most part it's all coming out well. So yeah. Anyway, 5 more minutes for the potatoes. Be back. So just wanted to give a little mid update thing. The recipe says I can add crushed red pepper. I don't think I'm going to do that now. My friend doesn't really handle spice very well, and I know when I tend to put this, I tend to put a lot, right? So, and I'm kind of curious to see what it tastes like without it first. And then when I do this recipe again, because I definitely will, by the way this is looking, I will put some crushed red pepper flakes and see how that makes it. Maybe it gives it a better flavor and it wouldn't be too hot, but we'll see. The problem with these I see is that they can they can become too hot. Granted, in the time that it was very spicy for me, I did use an entire bottle in the dish. Don't ever do that. That was a huge mistake. And I finished that meal prep, and I nearly finished off my stomach and rear end, if you catch that drift. So, but anyway, I'll hold off on this for now. So we'll see for next time. 2 minutes. Let's get to it. All right, y'all, moment of truth. So we've had it in there for about 25 minutes. Let's see how these bad boys came out. Not bad. Not bad. We got some good browning on some of them, but you know, it's not a big deal. So let's see. Came out good. So now we just combine it all. So great. Is this going to be super hot still? Nope. So boop. It's a lot easier to dump in there too. Nice. That's not too hard to clean. We'll try it this way. These are potatoes after all. So There's got to be a better method to this. Oh, you know what? Move them all on this side. That way I'm not bumping the plastic wrap. Come over to this side. Now there is the option, right, to let them cool, but I'm impatient, and also I'm kind of limited on time, right? So I do have to attend something at 10 o'clock, and I always have to attend that, usually weekly. Don't have to, but I just prefer to. So keeping that in track. And let's say you're on a time crunch, right? So, you know, sometimes you just need to be quick. Don't even worry about it. Just do what you gotta do. Oh yeah, this came out nicely. I'm really excited for this. You know, I was excited for the cheeseburger mac. I'm actually really excited for this dish. So I hope my friend likes it. Let's see. Excellent. Great. Now we just mix it together. And I learned that when you mix, right, you kind of scoop away from you. That way you don't like throw it on yourself. I did that once. Burnt. Okay. So let us just get a little taste test. I want to get a good chunk of it, right? So potato, turkey, broccoli, and everything. Good. I actually, wow. I like that. That came out nicely. I don't think it needs salt and pepper, but it would definitely benefit from more of it, so I'm going to add some more. We're not going to do as much as we did in the cheeseburger mac. The cheeseburger mac, in my opinion, you need a lot of salt and pepper. This one, with all the different flavors in there, I don't think it's necessary. Mix this together. So, I will say visually, it's not a very appealing meal visually, right? Because turkey's like gray-ish, so the potatoes and the broccoli give it a nice color. But regardless, it smells good, and from what I'm getting at, it tastes pretty good too. So, okay. Get a little bit of these things there. It's fine, we'll just... I think that's good. I think that is good. Because the potatoes and broccoli already have a lot of salt in it, because I dumped salt in it, right? Then there's the flavor of the garlic and the lemon zest, and the lemon itself. Really good mix in that. This, wow, I'm really happy I did this one. So we'll see how I can improve it next time. I'm curious to see how the red chili flakes will do with this. But all in all, I'd say this was a solid prep. So I think I said it earlier, but I have burritos in the freezer that I'm just going to be using and finishing out. So my prep's already done. Did the protein oatmeal yesterday. Man, good day, good day. It's only 7:19, so took me a little under 2 hours, maybe, more or less. So dig it. All right, so let me just go to finish cleaning everything up, putting stuff away, plating everything, and then we will get to the ending where I show what I made essentially. So see you guys in a minute. Cool, we're done. We're done. So I did a little miscalculations. So with the turkey bowls, it only gets me to Saturday, which not a big deal because I like to have like, you know, fresher meals on like the weekend and stuff like that per se. So technically till Friday because one of them is going to my friend. So and again, that's fine. You know, I got through my working week and I could just fill the rest with whatever stuff I have in the freezer and things like that. So all in all, this was a good prep. Came out really nicely. How much do I have there? So 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. So the cheeseburger mac gets through the week, and I have more than enough burritos through the week. And this, I usually skip on Saturday because I like to do a overnight protein oatmeal thing. So this will get me from Monday through Friday and then Sunday. Anyway, let's get to the recipes. So, as always, protein oatmeal bake. That is what we're starting with. I don't really want to open. Oh, screw, we'll open it. It's kind of what we're starting with there, right? So this is what we're looking at here. Pretty good. Same recipe before. I did pumpkin spice last week. I did lemon cheesecake this week. So, and I got a little bit of a taste of it, and yeah, it came out pretty good. Nicely done and all that stuff. So, the next meal we have here is a Chipotle chicken bacon ranch burrito. So the way I made the ranch was I just got non-fat plain Greek yogurt, ranch seasoning, I did cottage cheese. So not non-fat plain Greek yogurt. I did cottage cheese, ranch seasoning, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and then blended that together. So and put a little bit of Chipotle peppers in there. So gave that little hint there, which was really nice. So, and of course, I will have all the macros and stuff on screen. That will be my my lunch essentially. And for the pre-workout meal, which I'm very excited for, we're gonna have the lemon garlic turkey bowls. I like the fact that the lemon comes through a lot from what I got a little bit of a taste test, and I'm sure with the tzatziki sauce, it's gonna come out much nicer too. So, our final meal of the day, which is what we'll be ending with our post-workout meal, is going to be the cheeseburger mac with a side of broccoli. This I've had before, never goes wrong with that. Very easy to make, very tasty, and there's just a lot in there. So a lot of these recipes, right, you can adjust them to be bulking, cutting, however it is you need to do. Just all in all, great recipes all around. So I'm very happy with how things came out today. I'm very excited for next week. I wish I could try this today, and I probably could, but I'd rather just finish out the meals I have already. So all in all, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this different type of meal prep instead of me time-lapsing through all of it. I don't really know who's going to care too much because there's a lot better channels to watch. You know what I mean? So, but if you did take time to watch this, I really appreciate that. It honestly makes me happy to know that some people are even watching a few seconds of it type thing. But as always, I will see you guys tomorrow. It is deload week, and we will rock it again.